going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Pastor Jelly here. Today we're going to be going over a Company of Heroes 3 faction tier list. I've been playing tons of high-level matches recently, and I've got some thoughts on where I think all the factions rank right now. So we'll go over each faction, kind of the strengths and weaknesses that I see in them, and yeah, let's get right into it. So S tier, I'm going to put DAC at S tier. It's really a powerhouse faction. Their units are incredibly strong across the board. Their battle groups are versatile, and the salvage abilities add so much flexibility, and you don't really have to go a battle group to get the salvage capabilities. They also don't need a battle group to get a tiger tank, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. It gives them a lot of freedom in matches to choose different build paths and do different things. So also they have the Flak 88, which is probably one of the best units in the game. And its mobility is really good, and I think that's kind of one of the common themes in this tier list is that if you don't have mobile anti-tank like that, really strong anti-tank, it kind of, I think, sets you at a disadvantage. Vehicles are strong, they can repair vehicles easily. Just overall, probably one of the best, if not the best, factions in Company of Heroes 3. U.S. forces, I'm going to go ahead and put that at D tier. Kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. I really don't like the design of the U.S. forces in Company of Heroes 3. So first of all, you don't have any indirect fire unless you pick a battle group that gives it to you, which is a pretty huge limitation in my opinion. You're basically locked into certain commander choices every game if you want to have a balanced roster, and I really don't like that. The scout squad feels really weak, especially early, even late game. It's really easy to lose a scout squad if you've ever played US forces, which I don't really have the same problem with a lot of other units. And I really don't like the fact that you can't have engineers at the beginning of the game. So you have to build that later, which costs resources, and it's just an extra unit you have to worry about. And, you know, the scout squad has definitely some utility and some versatility. I just don't like the overall build path of how you get to it. And I don't like not having repairs unless I build engineer squad later. I really don't like the MG and AT units being attached to one tier building and then rifles being attached to another one. Kind of makes it pretty hard, especially early if you build a barracks. You don't have any AT until you tech later, or you have to back tech, which I just don't really like the design of that. But you know, there's definitely a lot of strong units, and you definitely win with U.S. forces. I just don't really like the overall playability and design of a lot of it in comparison to some of the other factions. So next up we have Wehr. I'm going to put that at B tier. They're a really designed faction overall with a ton of versatility, a solid foundation to build around. Really like the infantry unit options, and you have a lot of options, and you don't have to pick a battle group to get a lot of those infantry options. That being said, there's some drawbacks as well. I think the biggest one for me is the lack of a mobile heavy AT gun like DAC or the British forces. So you either have to rely on a battle group to get the 88, or you have to position it really well, which I think is a little bit of a disadvantage. And unlike DAC, you do need a battle group to get a Tiger tank, which is difficult. You have to select a certain path and go a certain way to get it, which also it takes a little bit longer than with DAC. You can get a Tiger out a lot faster with them. I don't like all the battle groups. I think that definitely needs some updating, some versatility there, but it's still a strong faction, just not S tier in my opinion, or I really don't even think A tier. And last up, we have British forces. I'm going to put them at S tier 2. I think the faction is really well-rounded in Company of Heroes 3. Their units and tech tree feel really powerful at every stage of the game. Infantry sections are a great core unit, and the fact that you can be upgraded with rifle grenades makes them really powerful. And the 17 pounder is probably one of the best units in the game. Really hard to play against. Really long range. Probably the best AT unit in the game. And then they also have access to artillery and indirect fire, so a lot of flexibility. And I really like factions where you don't have to go with a specific battle group to get what you need, like basic fundamentals of playing the game. And I think artillery is just one of those things that's super fundamental in certain matches that you have to have, and if you don't have access to it, it's kind of really limiting. So to recap everything, S tier I have Africa Corps and British forces, B tier Wehrmacht, D tier US forces. So that's my take on the current faction balance in Company of Heroes 3. If you agree or disagree, drop your tier list in the comments. Love hearing what other people have to say about it. And don't forget to like and subscribe and check out my other Company of Heroes videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.